Mobile Legends making you feel like this? Or like this? Even bringing out the inner beast in you like this? Not to worry, in this video we will cover the 5 heroes you should be avoiding at all costs in order to give you some sanity. Stay tuned. Without any further ado, let's get started in our worst 5 heroes to pick currently in Mobile Legends. At number 5, we have Balmond. Balmond has a win rate of 45.15% with a popularity of 1.23% and a ban rate of 1.25%. It's pretty fair to say that Balmond is on the down at the moment.
What?
You are probably thinking and saying, hey, but Balmond is meta, he's unkillable, he's OP. You're right. 2 patches ago. At the moment, due to the changes in the last patch and the one before this, and the option of better heroes in the roles that Balmond plays, if you are looking for a tank jungler, there are better options than Balmond at the moment. Barretts and Fredrin outshine Balmond as a tank jungler, and in the EXP lane, we have better options such as Argus or Marsha, who provide much higher damage output and more sustainability in the game.
That's what I'm talking about!
What generally was happening in our pubs or ranked games 2 patches ago was Balmond had a good early game, right? He was an early game powerhouse and he snowballed the entire game. But right now, with the last patch basically buffing all marksmen doing damage, Balmond has fallen off in the early game and therefore he cannot scale and just become extremely OP during the mid and late game and completely control the game. Another reason for the downfall of Balmond, or I shouldn't say downfall, he's winning 45% of his games but he's losing 55% of his games. It doesn't mean that you are losing 55% of your games, but a contributing factor to this is his kit. So what I mean by kit is, how many times as Balmond have you went into the enemy, spin and die, or spin alt and die, right? It happens so much, there's not much mobility with Balmond. It's kind of a ride or die hero. Unless you are in a 5-man party where you guys can coordinate initiation, for example, it is very difficult to play Balmond currently. In your normal ranked games, there is almost no coordination, and if you do have coordination, you are very lucky. But in most of the cases, your team is going to watch you die when you initiate. And that is the honest truth, and that is a big factor to why Balmond has such a low win rate at the moment. You probably thinking, hey, but Barretts, Fredrin, Argus are exactly the same. They are not exactly the same.
What?
Fredrin, Barretts and Argus can sustain long enough for your team to wake up and help you. And that's the bottom line. That is all it is. They can sustain long enough and deal enough damage while doing lifesteal or control in order for your team to wake up and match your pace. And that is it. So with that being said, please do leave your thoughts in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Number 4. Chow.
What?
I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
What the heck? What?
Chow is chilling with a 44.66% win rate, a 0.91% popularity or pick rate, and a 1.01% ban rate. So, even though Chow's being picked 1% of the time, that 1% of the people that's playing Chow are only winning 44% of the time. So let's get straight into it. I don't want to spend lots of time on a person or hero that I cannot pronounce their name. Right. So there are two main reasons why Chow has such a low win rate at the moment. Number one being he is so difficult to use. Right, he has an extremely complex skill combos and a lot of people struggle with getting it right or knowing what they're doing. They're just button mashing and hopefully ending up in getting some type of control or kill or doing something cool. Yes, it is very cool to fly around and hit people in the air and knock them back and punch them like Bruce Lee 100 times, but in truth not many people know what it actually does. They just button spam, and that is one of the attributing reasons to Chow's low win rate. The next reason for Chow's low win rate, it's actually the way the game is played at the moment. Where Chow shines is in a 1v1 situation where he can burst you down and control you to the point where you are throwing your phone against the wall, right? In the current game of today, everybody is teaming up and grouping up a lot sooner, which leaves the single target burst damage heroes in a bit of a backward space, right? Because yes, you can jump in and burst down one hero or control one hero, but there are three other heroes that are going to kill you, right? If you do get the games where you get a random Hanabi chilling top, or Layla is farming top or the gold lane, and you can basically farm her, yes, you are going to have a very good game. You can play Chow in different ways. You can play him as a damage dealer or as a tank in the EXP lane, but either way is very underwhelming at the moment, with better options opening up. I mean, even Tigreal in the EXP lane does a much better job than Chow of using control or even tanking. So there are better options than Chow. If Chow is your main hero and you are doing very well with it, congratulations. But majority of the entire Mobile Legends community are losing with Chow at the moment. So that's something to consider. Right, let's move on to the third worst hero in Mobile Legends. A hero that is very close to my heart, and I don't know why it's so low. It's Esmeralda. Right, so as some of you might know, Esmeralda is one of my favorite heroes. I absolutely love her. She has a brilliant balance between defense, tankiness, sustainability, and offense, which is attack and damage output. Wait. This is a video of the worst heroes, not the best. So let me explain to you why Esmeralda is doing so poorly at the moment in time. So Esmeralda is sitting at a 44.51% win rate with a pick rate of 0.95 and a ban rate of 0.75. Flip. I was going to say that she's being picked a lot now because of a new Astral Muse skin, and the nabs are losing with her, giving her a low win rate. But unfortunately, I cannot say that. So the deal with Esmeralda is that if she's played in the EXP lane, it's usually as a tank, right? You get a few heroes, or the heroes that attack through shields usually do very, very good against Esmeralda, as her shield is the main reason for this. In another breath, Esmeralda is an early game beast, right? But she can fall off very quickly in the early to mid game if she's underfarmed or she is dying a lot. With that being said, if your team does have a composition of, for example, Hanabi or an Angela or a Diggy, then you will be doing very well as Esmeralda. But in our normal ranked games, we can't really decide who our teammates are playing, and it's very seldom that you pick an Esmeralda last pick. So let's move on to the second worst hero in Mobile Legends, and that is none other than 1-1. Wan Wan, you might expect would have a much higher win rate, right? She's sitting at 44.42% win rate with a popularity or a pick rate of 0.24 and a ban rate of 1%. I'm sure we all have had that game where there's a Wan Wan that has gone off completely, unstoppable, unkillable, and we just lose the game in a matter of minutes. Those games are very far and few in between. The difficulty or complexity of Wan Wan's kit is possibly the most attribute or the highest reason, the biggest reason why her win rate is so low, right? So pairing that with the fact that you need to hit people or hit the 3 weakness spots or the weakness spots of the enemy, it is very, very difficult to get the weakness spots even if you are a seasoned Wan Wan player. So let's say you're a seasoned Wan Wan player, you have 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 games on Wan Wan and you are a Wan Wan pro, right? If the enemy understands the mechanic of weak spots, there's almost no way you will get an ulti off on them, right? And that's also a reason, or as I say, the main reason why Wan Wan has such a low win rate. It's because the difficulty to play the hero, right? Yes, if you get it off, if you hit the weak spots and you do an ulti, you can team wipe 5 people and get a super savage, you know what I mean? But the possibility or the odds of that happening are very, very low. Also, Wan Wan is very, very weak in the early game. And even with the marksman buff that we received last patch, Wan Wan is still very weak against almost all of the gold lane or the marksman, right? She has very little damage at the start. Her first spell does almost nothing, or does a little bit of damage, yes, a little bit of wave clear. And the second spell just removes CC, which is good, I guess, against the Grill or any type of roamer that has a lot of CC. Another thing we can mention about Wan Wan is that she is weak in the early game, weak in the mid game, and an end game or late game powerhouse, where if the game gets to 20 to 25 minutes where it's extremely late, you all have your items, more than likely you are going to lose against a Wan Wan. Straight up said. But in today's meta, or the way the game is played at this moment during this patch, the games don't last more than 13, 14 minutes, and that's the average these games actually last. So a lot of good players and a lot of good ranked players, they will understand that the Wan Wan has a big late game spike, and they will try and end the game as soon as possible, which is the ultimate downfall of Wan Wan players. Yes, it would be amazing to see the stat if this 44.42% was below 20 minutes, which I guess, actually it's an educated guess, yes. Whereas the win rate after 20, 22, 25 minutes is probably closer to 80%. But I mean, in your normal ranked games, this is regarded as the second worst hero you can pick in order to rank up in Mobile Legends. So before we get on to the worst hero ever in Mobile Legends, please do leave a like and subscribe if you found this video enjoyable. It does help my small channel quite a bit and would really be appreciated. So without any further ado, let's get into the worst, the absolute worst hero in Mobile Legends. The one you should not pick. You don't need to ban it, because if the enemy picks it, you will win. And that one is Valentina. Valentina boasts an amazing win ratio of 44.02%, a pick rate of 0.28%, and a ban rate of 0.51%. But hey, who picks Valentina? Because nobody knows what Valentina's skills actually do. And this is part and parcel of the reason why she has the lowest win rate in Mobile Legends. Valentina's ult actually copies the enemy's ult, turning her into them for a brief time using their attacks. So If, for example, you go into a Balmond, you get to do his ult, but then you also have his attack range and animation, which can confuse a lot of players and leads to games lost with this massive complexity. People have no idea what's going on, and therefore they button spam, and it turns up or end up feeding and losing the game completely. In addition to this, Valentina also has very low survivability. She's pretty squishy, and she has almost no damage in her attacks, rendering her null and void, or useless in a sense. Also, she's a mid laner, or generally. If you come up against Nana, or Xavier, or Liu Yi, or anything actually, you are probably going to become second best. She is pretty similar though to a Dota 2 character called Rubik, who steals the ultimates of enemies and then moves on forward. I mean, it's really cool. It's really sick if you steal a massive ultimate like Tigreal ultimate and then you blink in and do a Tigreal ultimate. Yes, it looks absolutely amazing. And it's probably the best feeling ever. But in terms of winning games, I suggest please do not pick Valentina. The stats talk for themselves. So if you have any comments, please do leave them, or any thoughts or views, please leave them in the comments below, and then I'll definitely have a look at them. Until then, happy gaming.